Hey everyone, welcome to part 4 of our SaaS development series. Today we're tackling a crucial feature of any SaaS application, payment integration with Stripe. We'll be adding premium content to our GitHub tutorial platform and implementing the entire subscription system. Now, I'll warn you upfront, payment integration is really straightforward and we're going to run into some interesting challenges along the way. You'll see how we set up premium tutorial content, handle Stripe API integration, deal with webhook complications, debug subscription issues, and fix some tricky UI states. The best part? I'm keeping all the troubleshooting parts in because that's where the real learning happens. Ready to dive into some payment integration? Let's get started. So first, I would like to ask Line to separate the free content from premium content. So to do that, I will ask Line here to create a premium tutorial content. Alright, let's see what happened. So there's this premium content, there's this premium tag. Okay, now I'm going to implement the payment processing. Since we're using Firebase, we're going to use the Firebase extension for Stripe. So I'm going to implement the payment processing using Stripe plus Firebase, using Firebase extensions for Stripe. Okay, let's do that. Let me think of a nice prompt that I can use. I actually have it prepared. We already have pricing here. It's $9.99 a month. Okay, so now we need to integrate the Stripe functionality. Okay, I will paste this prompt in using Firebase extension run payments with Stripe. There are the steps needed, and this is the basic structure for the user's collection. I will also tell Line to refer to the database schema. Let's see. It's now updating this file, handling the Stripe integration. Okay, so this is not yet finished, but if we take a look at our original prompt here, get Stripe customer. Okay, so I guess that's it for this because I'm using a step-by-step prompt, but let's see if our app still works. And I refresh this. And then let me sign out and sign in. It still works. I will create a new task, then I will copy in a new prompt here. This will implement the checkout functionality. It's now creating the route for the backend. Let's start a new task, and then later I will ask client to check against a longer prompt. So now I'm asking client to add a simple check for premium content access. It's updating the user file to add the subscription check function. Now client is creating a premium content wrapper. Upgrade to premium content. This content is available exclusively to premium subscribers. If I go to my profile, I should have upgrade button here. Okay, so I will ask client to update the profile component to properly indicate or to add the upgrade button. Okay, let's see. There's this upgrade button pointing to this pricing page. Nice. If I go premium, nothing is happening. So now I will start a new task, and then I will paste in a longer prompt so that client will be able to verify if all these changes has been made. I asked Claude to generate this prompt for me so that I don't need to write it by hand. It's checking one by one the users, the pricing. Okay, so the webhook is missing. Partially implemented, okay, I agree. The required implementation is missing. Okay, so now I will ask Line to help me with the webhook implementation. It didn't mention anything about the Stripe extension for Firebase because that extension will help with the development by getting rid of some boilerplate code. So let's see our original prompt here. Implement Stripe payment integration. Okay, I would like to verify if client will be able to handle that request. Okay, let's make a follow-up request here. It's searching for this extension, Firebase Stripe. It should not be there. So the extension is called Run Payments with Stripe. Okay, so looks like the extension is actually quite old. So I will simply cancel this. Okay, let's rely on client for implementing it the old way. I'm not quite confident to use this extension. So let's go back to client. And I cannot edit this follow-up message. So I will just simply copy the portion where it says here. I will copy it, and then I will create a new task. Now it's updating, or it's creating a new component for the subscription management that it saw was lacking in the profile page. Now it's creating the cancel subscription route. Now it's creating the customer portal endpoint. Let's see. Let me go to the profile, plan free, subscribe now. Okay, go premium, nothing's happening. So I will ask client to fix that for us. I'm sure I need to do something from the Stripe side. So I will ask client, what steps do I need to do? Okay, let me just send that generic question. Now it's updating the pricing page to use the Stripe checkout, and later it will provide instructions for me for required Stripe and Firebase setup. Now these are the instructions. Create a Stripe account. Okay, I already have a Stripe account. I'm going to stripe.com. I will sign in. Okay, since I'm from the Philippines, I don't have real seller account for Stripe. Unfortunately, Stripe doesn't support Philippine-based accounts for selling at this point. But it's okay since I'm not going to launch this for real, at least for now. So the good thing is Stripe allows me to develop in test mode. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so let's go back to client and see what needs to be done here. So it says here, get your API keys from Stripe dashboard. I think it's here. Let me enable Workbench. Then let me manage the API keys. I will create new API keys. So standard keys are here. You see I have created some test API keys before. Copy the publishable key. Okay, publishable key is here. I can copy it and then put it in the .env file. And then go to products, add product, name it premium plan. Okay, product catalog. Let's add our first test product. I will name this premium plan. I will use US dollar here, 9.99. Copy the price ID. I will add the product first, then I will copy the price ID, which is this. And then I will paste it in here. Price ID, not the product ID. Okay, this is the price ID. Then set up webhooks. Go to developer, webhooks, developers, webhooks, yes. Add endpoint, okay. What event should I add here? Select events, checkout, completed, okay. Checkout session completed. Customer subscription updated. Checkout session completed. Customer subscription deleted. Customer subscription updated. And then invoice payment failed. There we go. I still have to add this endpoint URL, but let me just continue. Webhook endpoint. Then this is the one I need to configure. Okay, looks like I skipped one step here. So this is actually the publishable key. And I still need to copy the Stripe secret key. Now this is the problem. The endpoint, your domain API Stripe. Not sure if that will work with localhost, because localhost is for development only. Stripe will not be able to find this, but good thing we have our app already deployed in our Netlify account here. So I will use this deployed version. There, but this is still not updated because right now if we go to cursor, we are working on the dev branch, so this won't work for now. But let's just continue with the process here. So what I will do is I will add this endpoint here in Stripe and then move on. So at least we are moving on, we are making progress with this webhook. So now I'm going to create the destination. Okay, so what's next? Copy the signing secret key to Stripe webhook secret. Where can we find it? Here, we'll copy it and paste it in there. The Stripe secret key is still not yet copied. I will yes, the secret key is here. I will roll key. I'll copy the secret key and put it there. Rolling keys means it will change the secret key. So these will be replaced before I publish this YouTube video. You won't be able to use it. You just have to follow what I did on your own account. Okay, now for Firebase, we have to enable authentication. We already did that. For Firestore, we already did that. So let me just add this rules. I will copy these rules in Firestore rules. Right now, the rules are set to all, allow everything for read and write, but I will paste in the recommended rule here. Okay, then I will publish. Okay, so hopefully that will not affect our existing functionality here. Let me just try to update my profile if it is still working. All right, it's still working. Let me revert it back to the way it was before. Okay, so now the next one. Okay, so here, this is what I'm looking for. The environment variables, create .env.local. I already have that. Let me just copy everything just to make sure. So we have this publishable key. We can remove this. We have the secret key. We can remove this. We have the webhook key. Okay, so here cursor was able to predict what I'm going to do next, and now it's suggesting to remove this by pressing tab because it sees that this variable is already defined there. I will press tab to remove it. However, this one is not available there. So let's just leave it as is, and then let's go to the fourth step. Test the integration. Start your development server, create a test account, go premium. I will test this using this test card, verify webhook, and check user subscription status in Firebase. Okay, let's see if that will work. I will subscribe. I will go premium. Nice. In here, I will use a test card. Doesn't matter about this. We can use 2025. I will subscribe. I would guess this will fail because the webhook is not listening to it. Let me go to the developers webhooks. So you see there's no deliveries or responses because we're using this URL, but it should at least try to deliver the events, right? Okay, so the plan is still free. If we go to the tutorials, I won't be able to access this. I guess yes. So it doesn't work. Let me ask client if localhost 3000 will work, and let me just quickly look where this is defined. Okay. I will go back to client and ask it. No, localhost won't work. Alright, so I need to set up for development. That's nice. Use Stripe CLI to forward webhooks to localhost. Since I don't have the Stripe CLI yet, I will install it first. I will install this. I'm unzipping the file, then I will paste in the Stripe executable. I will log in. I will just say Stripe login. Works. So press enter. Okay, I will press enter. This will authenticate the CLI for me. This will enable the development functionality of Stripe. Allow access. And I can now close this and go back to client, and then I can forward webhooks here. Okay. The CLI will provide a webhook signing secret. Okay, I will use this. And then I have provided the Stripe webhook secret based on the CLI command here. Okay, so the next public app URL is correct. So I will confirm to client if the webhook that I have provided earlier here is correct. So the destination URL. No, you don't need to configure. CLI handles the forwarding automatically. Nice. We already executed this here. Stripe listen forward to. Okay, so now let me try to upgrade. Test. Let's observe what's happening in this. Yes, nice. It's forwarding the events with a 200 response code, which is okay. So it's a success. Now let me go to profile. But the current plan here is still free. You can ask client why is that. We can also check within Firebase here. Check out sessions. Alright, so the subscription ID is here. It's active. But in our UI here, it still says free. I will ask client why. I will create a new task. I will ask it to review. Let me verify. Yes, I can even paste this in so that client will be able to see that it actually works. If we go to the profile page, it is using subscription manager. Yes, here. Alright, I noticed there's this subscription ID, and if we go to subscriptions, there's no subscriptions here, but there's this checkout sessions. So we might need to ask client why the subscriptions document here is not updating. Okay, so let me go back a bit. Here, it's updated several files. Let's just review what it did. It checked the webhook handler, it updated the auth provider, the subscription manager, the user TypeScript file, and it updated the subscription manager again. Let's see. Alright, so that's what I thought, because if we take a look at Firebase here, although we have the subscription ID, I don't think the subscriptions record here is being updated. So the subscription ID says active, but the subscription tier is still free. These are the checkout session that we did earlier. It's tied to my account, MGE20. Let's check that. Yes. Says here that the status is completed, however there's no subscription, so that's why you cannot capture the correct subscription information here. So let's go back to client. I will do a follow-up question here or task. I will attach a screenshot, okay, then I will paste it in here. I'll go to the checkout sessions, and I will tell client that this is completed. Then subscriptions. Okay. Hopefully client will be able to understand this. I'm doing this as if I'm talking to a human, which is the job for AI right now. Okay, so it saw that the checkout session is completed successfully. The subscription collection doesn't have the user subscription document. So now it's editing the checkout route for the webhook. So this means that we will have to upgrade again. Later, I will update the deployed version of the app and then test this workflow for real in production environment without CLI. This data that we've been seeing here should be available by then here. Now it's updating the rules. It's too restrictive, okay? Actually, these are not the rules that I have added, but it's good that it's here. Let me just make sure that this is being pushed to Firebase. Currently, if we go to rules here, we have a different set of rules here. Okay, so try the subscription process again. The webhook handler will now properly update your subscription. But let me just ask. Okay, let's run this command. So this should be reflected here after we run this again. Now we are installing the Firebase tools. Good thing we asked client about it. So it's important to read what client is saying here, as well as some awareness to the services that we're trying to integrate. In this case, Firebase and Stripe. Allow Firebase to collect CLI and emulators with usage. Right. Why we need to initialize Firebase in this project? Maybe I can rerun the Firebase deploy now. The only thing missing maybe is how can it find this config. Okay, you're right. Since we already have the Firebase configuration, let's try deploying the rules directly. Not a Firebase app directory. Could not case Firebase.json. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Rate limit error. I will switch to Open Router. Alright, deploy complete. But let's go to Firebase again and see what rules are there already. If the deploy is complete, then the rules should include a lot more information. Yes. Nice. Take a look at our webhooks. Checkout session completed, charge succeeded, customer created. Let's look at our profile. Nice! We are now in premium account, and let's take a look if we can access the free tutorials. Yes. How about the premium content? No. Okay. Current plan is premium. I'm not sure if the status is a separate property. So maybe client is referring to this, but it should refer to the premium plan, not the status. It's signing in now. Client is using the Anthropic Computer Use API. Instead of looking where the Git advance is, it asks me to allow it to access that particular URL. So let me make sure that all the changes has been applied. I will rerun the development server and then look for the issues here. Okay, so I cannot check the premium access under this. It says here that failed to check the premium access. We can copy this part and look at what part of the code is checking that here. So logging, checking subscription data. We don't have that data yet. Maybe we can log this instead. Console log. But it goes straight there at the error. Let me log more of this. $33.24. Check premium access, which is this one. It says here cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, which is undefined. Let me add more logging here. Okay, so the user ID is undefined. Alright, now that we know that the user ID being passed to this function is null or undefined, then we know what to do. We'll go to that component that is using this, which is the premium content, and then let's investigate from here. So here, the user is being passed. So we know that the user is not undefined because there's this if condition. So that means only the ID is undefined. So let's try to log this. Go to our browser and then refresh. Okay, so checking premium access for user ID, it is undefined, but we need to remove the user ID. See what's inside that user object. All right, there it is. So there's no ID here. We have the customer ID, but there's no other information about the user. So if we get the user doc, what can we see? So maybe we can log this, clear this out, refresh. There you go. The user doc contains this information: display name, email, customer ID. So there really has no ID here. And if we take a look at Firebase users, so this is the ID. So yeah, that's the ID, MGE20, but that information is not exposed here because that's the UID, the Firebase UID. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see what's inside the Firebase user. Okay, so this is the contents of the Firebase user. The UID is the one we're after, but it's not being added here. So we can include that here. In the user, the ID is not available, but we need to rename this to something else, UID. Let's see which code uses this object. So the user uses the TS from Firebase, uses that, and the auth provider also uses that. All right, so the UID here has been updated also. Okay, right. So maybe that will help us. So that means we need to include it. Yes, using the Firebase user information. So we can remove this and we can remove this now also. Okay, so now if we go back to the premium content, we can remove this log also and remove the other logs here because I'm confident that we're going to have a working code from now on. Let me refresh. Alright, so it did display the you don't have an access information or content. Let me reload it. So this upgrade to premium is displayed, but eventually we get the proper value. But we don't want to display it that way to paid users. They might get annoyed. What I'm going to do is add some kind of loader. If we refresh, that portion is already showing this one. But the has premium access should be null by this point, right? Let me add some logs. Okay, it's null. So why doesn't this get displayed? Let's ask client, and also let's ask client to add some nice UI here. So I will say hitting two birds with one stone. So it's going to use the loading spinner, which is good. The loading spinner needs to be enhanced. Okay, let's see. Oh no, it doesn't work. Anyway, we can describe it later. If I refresh this, yes. Now let's reload. All right. That's good. Okay, so now we're good with our premium contents. And there we have it, a working Stripe integration. Let's quickly recap what we accomplished. We've successfully implemented premium content gating, set up Stripe subscription handling, configured webhooks for real-time updates, fixed that tricky subscription recognition bug, and smoothed out the UI loading states. More importantly, we learned some valuable debugging techniques, using Stripe CLI for local webhook testing, leveraging console logs strategically, managing Firebase security rules, and handling loading states properly. The end result? A smooth subscription experience where users can instantly access premium content after subscribing. In the next video, we'll complete our SaaS application by implementing the admin dashboard and deploying everything to production. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. All the code for this part is available in the GitHub repository linked below. If you're implementing Stripe in your own project, pay special attention to the webhook handling and subscription verification logic. Those are usually the trickiest parts. Thanks for watching. Happy coding!